Hey, what is up, guys? I'm going to give you guys a minute or two to get on here and make sure we're good with this. It's going to be an awesome training. At the end of this, please shoot me some stuff that send me a message with what you have written down at the end, because I would love to see one of your goals. Okay, because we're going to break these goals down real tight, and you're not going to want to miss it. So. While I give you guys a minute or so to get on, I'm just going to turn my screen on here. Notice that the screen's on so much that the tablet's starting to get a little warped. Don't want that. Don't want that. And excuse my super cool best grandpa ever shirt. It's pretty sweet. Now, Mark said it's inappropriate. I was going to wear it to church, make people go, what? And I didn't. So anyways, here's what we're talking about today. We're talking about freaking create some goals. It's going to be a good one. So glad to have you here. Let me get this thing set up. And the title is Making Goals So Bad You Can't Help But Hit Them. Okay? Because I'm seeing just a trend with people in general when it comes to creating goals. It makes it really hard to hit their stuff. And that's a dang shame because goals are awesome. We would love to smack them in the mouth, and we want to do that. So we got to. Now, the problem is that we're running into, and we run into just as generals, we're consistently needing motivation and digging into our bag of willpower to track our food, to do the workouts, to come in and see me, to respond to my messages, to do the things that we need to, that it's hard to stick with longer than 12 months, let alone 12 freaking months. Now, because I think you guys might know, I don't know if you know this, the median age in America is 78 years old. So all of you guys have quite a while until you hit at least median age of somebody who passes away, right? And because of this, you're going to have to last longer than 12 months if you wish to lose weight and keep it off, just like we talk about, right? You're going to have to. And so if we constantly need to pull into our willpower bucket in order to do things that we should do to be healthy, like track our food, like do our workouts, like weigh ourselves regularly, like have difficult, hard conversations of telling full truths and nothing but the truth, so help me God. All these things, it's going to be really tough to do it for the rest of our life. And again, that would stink because I want you guys to have long lives filled full of happiness and joy and health, not 12 months where that one time you felt good in that one program and then you didn't do it again and didn't keep up with it because you're digging into the willpower bucket and need motivation the entire time in order for you to do the things you need to do. Again, would suck because if I did everything, if you and I did things only drive by motivation, what would we do? Well, we'd only run away from fire all the time, and that is not a way to live. So, and the scarier thought, if you need it, is we always consider middle age is 50 when in fact it's 39. So when somebody has a midlife crisis at 50, it's more like a 2/3 life mid-crisis. Midlife. Two-thirds life crisis. There it is. Oh, not really pleasant to feel, not really pleasant to hear. Yeah, that's why we got to freaking do this, okay? So, solution is creating goals so visceral that you cannot stop thinking about them and or doing them because it makes zero sense to not do them. Make sense? Okay. So, here's how we do that. One is that you're going to set up a so that because statement. 3, we're going to wrap it in some layers of juice. Okay, we'll talk about the juice in a minute. And then reminders. Okay, I actually realized in this presentation I didn't add something for reminders, but I'll make sure to tack it at the end, okay? So with that being said, let's get after it. Most goals are written something like this. I want to lose 30 pounds. Boo, boring. 30 pounds, cool. If you want to lose 30 pounds, chop your leg off, okay? You'll lose 30 pounds really quick. But that's not what I mean. Yeah, but that's not what you're not saying, right? It's not what you're not saying. It's not what you're saying. It's what you're not saying. That's the problem. But what if you're like, I want to use 30 pounds in a year? What year? What year? A year? Any year? 2052. That's when I'm going to do it. That's when I'm going to lose the 30 pounds. No. Got to do better than that. We got to do better than that. I want to lose 30 pounds in the next 12 months. I guess. That's cool. But there's nothing there. Cool. Logic. That's awesome. But that's not how we make decisions. We don't make decisions. We don't do things based on logic all the time. How many people do you know are with somebody in relationship that you know they shouldn't be? How many? Lots of them. Logically, makes no sense. Logically. Okay, the next little bit of things, they're going to sting. They might hurt a little bit, and I'm going to be using stereotypical language to prove a point. I'm not saying everybody is XYZ, so don't get it twisted, okay? I'm going to tell you, though, that this is just, we're going to take a stereotypical person in whatever situation, and that's how we're going to play it. Deal? Okay. So let's use a person that says that all men ain't good. There's no good men left, right? How many of us have heard somebody like this, right? Ain't no good men left. Or somebody says there's no good jobs left, or there's whatever, right? Now, is that true? No, it's not true. It just so happens, though, that there's 3 layers that dictate what our outcomes are going to be, aka our goals. First one is what's called sniff test. This is to get into the door. So as an example, somebody that thinks there ain't no good men left, or ain't no good ladies left, or whatever it is, whatever you're into, who cares? Okay, ain't no good whatever left. The sniff test, in order to have that kind of, that sort of frame, if you call it, is your identity, what you believe to be true. And so if somebody's first belief is, I'm too old, I missed the ship, ain't no good men left, guess what? That outcome is going to happen for them. As in, if I tell you to only see something that's blue in the room, you'll find everything that's blue, and you'll hyper-focused on it, and you'll miss everything that's red, yellow, green, purple, whatever. Same thing, is that which we identify with is what we see. So if you perceive like, okay, this is my identity. I'm a mom. I actually was talking to somebody about this 28-day thing I'm running right now. I said, what do you think it would be worth? Whatever. And she's like, she said, it's because she said this really silly answer for what do you think it'd be worth? She said, I have a hard time spending money on me. That's what she said. I identify as somebody who has a hard time spending money on me. I have no problem spending thousands of dollars for somebody with dance, but I have a really hard time spending money on me. That's what she identifies as. Problem. Not good, right? But that's a sniff test. It's kind of like this thing works too. This is like on a survival sort of way. Imagine if when I was talking to you when you first started, and you had the sniff test, as in like how is this guy's vibe? How is he? That I was a jerk, that I was apathetic, and that I had some sort of way to think about you before you even explained it yourself. You kind of explain your situation. What's going on, right? Everybody I talk to is a blank slate, man. I don't know anything about you. And whether it's binge eating or not, or just not understanding nutrition or not, or whatever it might be, it doesn't matter. Everyone's a blank slate for me. Genuinely, I feel that way. Whether you got 20 pounds to lose, 100 pounds to lose, 50 pounds to lose, anywhere above, below, whatever. I don't know. I have no freaking clue. So I think when I get on the call, or when we talk to you guys come in or whatever, first meeting with me, that becomes apparent. Because if you were to think that, this guy's a jerk, he's a turd, he's in the fitness industry, he's another one of those guys that just only thinks that everyone that's overweight is just stupid and lazy, you would probably not have joined the program, I would imagine. Because I have to pass that first in order to get to the next layer. And the next layer is the emotional layer. The emotional layer. Because again, pulling ourselves back to the lady that says there ain't no good men. The reason is that because she's hurt. She wants to be with somebody. She feels alone. She feels secluded. And when you look at the frame of, let me see if I can explain this. When you're looking at the world through the frame of there's nothing left, they're so scarce. And the emotion behind that is fear, nervousness, anxious, broken, whatever it might be. It feels nicer to say, ain't nobody good out there, then I need to improve myself, find better mates, put myself in better situations to find people. It feels better to say, ain't no good men because I'm hurting. Make sense? Now, all this stuff is going to work with your goals in just a second, but I'm going to use this point still because this is how we operate. This is how we make decisions. This is how we view the world. Lastly, we get into logic. At the very end, not in the beginning. Nobody does things logically first. Hardly anybody. Hardly anybody. Everyone does stuff emotionally and what they identify with first. So as somebody who identifies with personal growth, I always like to find ways for me to improve, which is awesome, which I love doing. Other people, though, when they think that when there's something that is not where it needs to be with them, that they can improve, that means they lack. They're not good. That's a bad thing. So they seek to not find those things. You see how each of these wrappers can help us dictate how we make decisions or not. And understanding that there are wrappers, you can use them to your advantage, which we'll go into with making goals in a minute. Then, and only then, does it make sense for me to go logically because I identify with somebody who wants personal growth. And emotionally, I understand that where I need to go is not what I understand and have. I need somebody way smarter than me that can guide me, that can show me the way, that can get me into a place where I can identify with something bigger than what I am. Then and only then logically will things start making sense. But I'm sure you've heard people talk to you about their stuff and you're like, logically what you're doing makes zero sense. There is good men out there. You just don't believe it to be true. You're viewing the world through the prism of lack instead of the prism of abundance. And you're just not finding yourself in right opportunities. You keep going to the bars and the clubs, okay? Can you go do something else? Maybe go to the gym and find somebody, especially if you want to be healthy. It's a really good place to find people. At least they're trying. You know what I mean? But anyway, how we want to rate our goals is the same way, but we're going to work from the inside out. We're going to base our stuff with logic. Then we're going to attach emotion. And then we're going to pass a sniff test / identity. Okay, check this out. So logic is something measurable and has a timeline because we want to have some sort of frame of reference. We want speed and direction. We just don't want speed. Okay, because speed 30 pounds, 30 or a year, whatever. Let's say that. It's just speed and time. Okay, a year is this around, but direction gets us going how far we need to go. Does that make sense? So we need measurable and a timeline. This is something like lose 30 pounds in the next 12 months. Okay, probably something reasonable. Probably could add that to it. Reasonable. 30 pounds in 12 months, incredibly reasonable. 3 pounds per month, that's very, for anybody, it's not hard. It's not something that you have to like starve yourself for or make it so challenging that you're feeling behind if you miss a week. You know what I mean? 30 pounds in a month or 12 months is very reasonable of fat, of weight. That'd be crazy if you didn't do that. Okay. Emotional. Why? What is the inevitable benefit? And be specific. Health, crappy emotion. Nobody says they don't want to be healthy. You know why I want to lose weight? I want to be healthy. Yeah, no shit. No kidding. You want to be healthy. It makes sense. Duh. Why? Why though? That's not emotion. So you have to dig in and you have to be real. The hardest part, I think, honestly, for making goals, if I just had to be incredibly frank with you, is that most of the time, not you, but we are so emotionally constipated that we can't get vulnerable with ourselves enough to find the real reason. Which is why when I talk to people, I ask them 30 freaking why questions. Why? Why? Why is that important? Who cares? Why do you care about that? How is that going to benefit you? What, all these things. So like for me, I can guide them to their real problem. Okay. Because I want them to get real good results too. And think about it when I'm trying to have people coming in here and play, like I want it to be a reason why they're emotionally invested. It's hard, dude. This stuff's hard. As you know, it's freaking hard. And if all you had is, I'll show you at the end, is I want to lose 30 pounds versus what I'm about to give you, it's going to be really hard to stick with it long term. And that would do you and I both a massive disservice. Okay. So emotion, why? This would be something along the lines of, so I can fit back in my size 4s that I wore 10 years ago. Cool. That gets us something, right? Because what can that show? We can look in the mirror and be like, dang, I look good. Look at me all curved up. I got my slim waist. I'm all tightened up here. I'm all trim, whatever the words are, right? I'm looking good. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling sexy, confident, whatever. Then the sniff test. This one is the hardest one because what is the underneath pain, the deep down pain you're wanting relief from or that you desire to reach towards? So as an example, if somebody had 30 pounds and wanted to lose the next 12 months so they can fit back in their size 4s that I wore 10 years ago, that could be because I want to feel as sexy and beautiful as I used to. Oof. You see how when you stack it, losing 30 pounds in the next 12 months is not that great. It's hard, it's cool, but there's no oomph to it. There's no like juice. The juice is like the thing, the sprinkle. It's like the secret sauce. It's like the glue that holds things together. It's the thing where you go, oh, I'm tired, but you go, well, getting tired and not tracking your food means that you don't want to feel sexy and beautiful, that you don't want to feel confident, that you don't want to have energy, that you want to continue to push your spouse away from you when they advance in sex because you're nervous and upset about the way you look. Sex life's terrible. Husband's like, I can't, what do we do here? You see what I'm saying? It's that you say, bring that to me. I want to keep doing that because that's better. That's better. You see how we can make it go, dude, duh, crazy. And if you had that as just this, I've got more, but if you had just that in your goals, do you think that you would have to keep digging into your willpower bucket to go, I got to track my food? No. Because you go, in order to get there, I have to do these things. Have to. Don't want to. Doesn't matter. I have to. And it's not hard because the alternative, and that might be helpful, write down the alternative. What's the alternative if you don't? Might be something we're going to talk about in a minute. So that stuff, you go, ugh, the alternative is this. Dang. And I'm going to be here regardless. I'm going to still be here regardless. And time will continue to go. And so I might as well do the thing that gets me what I want because nothing's stopping. I'm not stopping. I'm going to keep going, right? Easy. But now I've got better stuff though. Because even then, it still might be challenging, which I get. And it is. It is, especially when things are really not good. When you're like, I'm hurting. My shoulder's been bugging me. Like, dude, I've been pressing today and I did some workouts earlier and like my shoulder just freaking aches every time. Overhead shoulder press, it aches. It's like stopping me from strength training. I'm even considering not doing my Spartan race for how much aching I'm feeling. Just my shoulder and my back, and I don't want to get hurt. My neck is really tight. I think these two are tied together because this area here is so tight and it's like ripping all this stuff, and I'm finding myself sleeping all weird because it's all tight. Like, I'm considering it. If I give myself 2 weeks, if I don't get it fixed in 2 weeks, I'm going to postpone my race to next year. And I don't want to do that because I want to run it and I want to crush it, but it's not worth it to get busted up. See what I'm saying? So anyways, here's the next piece. Next one with the sniff. Another example is lose 30 pounds in the next 12 months so that I can get off medications because I want to be able to live a long, fulfilling life without being on drugs. What does that feel like? Freedom. Freedom. Having to take drugs all the time. And if you don't, problems happen. If you don't, what's going to happen? Your toes fall off. Heart gets so enlarged in that left ventricle that there's not enough blood that gets inside it. So that means there's not enough oxygen that gets around. So you actually suffocate while being alive because you literally cannot get enough oxygen in the blood. And there's nothing that can stop it. Nothing. Once that left ventricle gets big, your congestive heart failure, that's it, pal. Done. Done. It's real. But it's the real that we want to avoid, right? Like we want to just go, that doesn't feel good. I don't like that feeling, so I'm going to push it aside and just live for the moment. But the reality is the moment's killing you. And we can't have that. Can't have it. You got to be real with yourself. And the realness, in the realness is where you're going to find the success. If you want, like all of us, even me, just flutter around, just floofying it up, giving us crappy little, oh, it feels good to be good, and I'd like to have my shirt off. Yeah, bullshit. I want to live there. I want to live long enough to have this shirt be real for me. And I can't do that if I'm eating like an ass and I'm not exercising and I'm lying and all these things. Can't do it. Not possible. So I have to. Want to? Sometimes. Other times it doesn't matter. I have to. So it is what it is. Now, here's where the juice comes in. This is the stuff I came up with today. So you're really going to like this. This is brand new. And I guarantee not one other program talks like this in the entire world. I'm not saying that to say that I'm cool. I'm just saying, listen, what we have here is special. This is not the normal. If you've tried another program, they do not talk about goals like this. Hell, they probably just say your goal of losing 30 pounds is good. And it's not. It's bullshit. It sucks. It's not good. And that's why they don't have success like we do. Here's a logical wrapper, because each of these things you want to wrap. You want to get more. You want to get more to it so that, again, any reason that comes up makes no freaking sense. Logically, mentally, and emotionally. Doesn't make sense. So the logical wrapper, hard cost versus ignorance cost. The guy, one of my mentors, I love talking about him because he's a cool dude, and I keep messaging him. Hopefully he gets back to me because I know he knows who I am because I've been to his house. Alex Ramosi. He talks about every single month, and this is in business, every single month that you are not where you are at in business, you are paying a negligence or ignorance tax or cost on not being there. So if you're not a millionaire, every single year you're paying whatever it is that you make minus $1 million in ignorance tax every year. It makes you go, snap, I'm losing out on a ton if I'm not a millionaire, which I am not, right? And nor do I really care, okay? But the reality is that's the truth, is hard costs. What are the actual costs of not reaching your goal? Let's say it's use the medication one. Medication, big one. Hard cost you hitting right now. Medications, doctor's visits, time off work, sickness, extra clothes, bigger clothes wear out faster and they cost more. Shoes, someone who's overweight buys shoes twice as fast as those who don't. Fact. Food, to be able to maintain that, people are paying more money for food, right? All these sorts of things. The habits that you had for being before you're in the program to now. How much money were you spending on eating out? How much money were you spending on snacks and treats and cakes and candies and drinks and whatever? A lot. Keep doing that over the course of 12 months, and then keep doing that over the course of the remainder of your life until you're 78. What is the cost? Hundreds of thousands of dollars that you are spending that you do not need to. I guarantee it. And then ignorance cost. These are things that are not incurred directly always, but are incurred indirectly. So as an example, if somebody has a heart attack, the heart attack kills 95% of people that get it. So somebody has a heart attack at 50 and the salary is 50 grand every year. You take 50 grand, 78, 28 years, okay? 28 times 50,000 is $1.4 million that you are losing because you are not working when you could, or whatever. Maybe not working until the day you die. I don't know. Until you retire. Okay, 15 years, let's say. That's still $900 or $800 something thousand. It's enough for you to go, oh, cool, that's an ignorance cost. Okay. Something else. Ignorance cost can also be like emotions. Like how much money are you spending on your emotions? What the lack of what's the word I'm thinking of? How much time and energy and effort are you spending on the current situation that if you were not in that current situation, you wouldn't? So how much time are you spending in the morning trying on clothes over and over and over again because the ones you have you don't like? They don't fit your body well. How many times have you went to the store to try on clothes to come out with nothing? How much time was that? How much time do you spend on talking about going to the gym and trying a diet versus actually doing it? How much time do you spend every single week avoiding the things that you know you should be doing to get the results you want, and you're actively spending minutes battling with yourself, ignoring them? How many minutes is this? 10, 15? Okay, 15 minutes. every single week, hour a month, 12 hours a year. At the end of 20 years, what is that? 10 days of time you've spent on just absolutely ignoring and putting yourself down for not doing the things and making it harder, like literally stalling from getting results. 10 full days of time. I mean, maybe even more than that. I don't know. Probably more than that. Whatever it is, doesn't matter. You get the frickin' point, right? Hopefully you get the point. Emotional wrappers. This is where you're going to tap into the emotion part. What does this goal do for me is the internal. You have to have an internal reason. Do not have just external. If you have at least one of these, you're good. If you have one, it has to be internal. Everything else you can add extras to. Okay. One internal. What does this goal for me? What does this goal do for me? I'll give you some examples in a second. External. How does this goal benefit others? Bigger than you. How does this goal help my purpose or my bigger mission? Because some of us maybe don't know what our purpose is. So bigger mission. What is it we're trying to achieve in life? If we had like a big emphasis that we could say, this is what my life is about. How is getting that goal help you get there? Where's it at? There it is. Okay. So 30 pounds, let's say that's the thing. Internal, feel confident, sexy. External, I'll not push my spouse away from advancing on me or withholding sex because I feel terrible, or I don't know, going into stores, not trying clothes on that fit, wasting time trying on clothes, having to get specialized clothes made and then find out they don't fit. External, this is like those sort of things. But I guess that's still external. This could also be something like at work, being more productive at work because you feel have more energy because you're not battling with yourself from frustration. From first thing in the morning, you say when you wake up is, oh, look at my ugly back fat, like somebody in here says, right? Those things. Bigger than you. I'll be less stressed to be able to do more work at church because the heavy weight of having an extra 30 pounds on my body will be gone. Heavy weight, not literal weight, but the mental weight, the mental strain, the frustration. Because think about it. If you took 30 pounds off you right now, if you have it, some of us are trying to gain weight in this program because we lost all the weight. Good problems to have. But if you had just a moment where you could just like pretend that, even to close your eyes, if you could pretend that all the weight you wanted to lose is just magically lifted off of you. Do you feel just the weight? No. You probably feel the mental too. So that 100 pounds or 20 pounds or 30 pounds or whatever it might be that you want to lose, it probably really feels like 100, 200, 300 pounds gone. Because all the other bull crap that comes along with it's gone too, right? Heck yeah. Now, identity wrapper. This is called the mirror analysis, okay? At the goal, who will be staring back at you in the mirror? Very simple. Very simple. Who will be? Not what. Who? What is like what you are is like a mom. That's what you are, or a dad, or a business owner, or a Christian, or atheist, or whatever tag you want to put on yourself, right? But who is the attributes that you will associate with when you accomplish the goal. Now, just so we're crystal clear, weight, irrelevant. Getting the goal to whatever it is you want, relevant. So don't think that, oh, once I hit this goal, all my problems in the world will change. Nope, they will not. A lot of them will, but not all of them. If you're depressed now, you're going to be depressed and thin then. It just so happens that when depression is caused by you being unfulfilled, you having a hard time finding a spouse because you're not confident right now, and we get you losing the weight, which then makes you confident because you like the way you look, then we're solving some problems. Makes sense? But if you're depressed from childhood crap or abuse or something, it's not going to change anything. All right, just so we're clear. Now, let's look. So check this out. Here's the homework I have for you. Okay. I want you to write down a great goal at the top, following the so that and because framework, giving yourself a timely goal that's reasonable. Okay, timely or reasonable. And I just want one. You don't have to do a ton. If you want to do a ton, you can, but I just want one, okay? Then you're going to have a logic, the sniff test / identity, and the emotion right next to it. Then you're going to put down the hard cost and the ignorance cost. Mirror analysis, internal, external, bigger than you, for the one goal. Now, I know you have more than one goal, but we're just going to do one, okay? Because check this out. When it's time for me to, this is hard, I'm facing a time where it's challenging, or I'm frustrated and I want to try to go back to my old ways, and you spent 10 minutes writing down a major, massive freaking goal on here. It looks like this. I have 30 pounds. I'm going to lose 30 pounds in the next 12 months so that I can get off the medications because I want to be able to live a long, fulfilling life without being on drugs. Logical reasoning, you start with logic, is I'm going to save $5,000 a year on medications. My copays even. If I don't, and there could be more, you don't just have to have one, and it doesn't have to even pertain to medications or whatever. Make it pertain to your goal. Hard cost. What is the hard cost, the spending that you are doing right now that you will not need to do when you hit your goal? Okay. Next is the ignorance cost. If I have a heart attack and die or whatever, you can even look up statistics to back this up because you want some logic. You want some hard numbers, right? Like, let's say one's a big one is that I believe the number, I could be wrong, so you fact check me if I'm incorrect, is that someone that is obese is passed up more for promotions than somebody that's not. Not because they don't like obese people, because that wouldn't be the case, but because they have shown that just looking at numbers and looking at things and then checking with their weight second, not first, is that they take more sick days, they don't work as much, they aren't getting as many deals closed than somebody who is in normal weight in an average BMI or an average body fat percentage, I should say. Not because they look at them, but because if you look at the numbers, the performance numbers, not as good. So you can use that. It's like I get often passed up for promotions. What would that look like in 10 years if you would get promoted once every 10 years in your business, or once every 8 years or 5 years, or whatever the thing is? I don't know. I haven't worked in a business in a really long time, so I only promote myself when I want to. And glorified fat slayer is my latest promotion. So let's say I would miss out on 8 or 4 different promotions. Oh, cool. Look up on Glassdoor, the company you work at, what does 4 promotions ahead of you make? Cool. And then do the math. I'm losing out on XYZ money if I don't do that. Get real. Get like very real. Not to put yourself down, just so when it's time for you to get tested to not do this, you have a fat stack of reasons why. All we're fishing for is reasons. Next, emotion. Feel more confident and sexy, not push my spouse away from advancing on me, and have less stress to be able to do more work at church. So your bigger calling, right? Bigger calling. And then sniff test. I want to see this isn't me, obviously. I will see a proud, strong, powerful, grateful, grounded, certain, confident woman who knows what she wants in life and doesn't hold back from getting it. You look in the mirror and you see that. And you see that somebody at work is bringing you donuts. When you look at these, because you're going to look at these weekly, daily, have it on your big whiteboard that you can't miss, have it on your back screen of your computer. When you see these every single day, how hard would it be to say, no, I'm good? Not very hard. Because you go, if I keep messing up, if I keep slipping, look at all that I'm missing. Look at all the stuff that I'm going to fall, that I'm not going to get. I'm not going to get a promotion. I'm going to be spending $5,000 for the rest of my life every single month on medications. And that's assuming I'm going to stay the same. It might get worse, right? But let's say it's $5,000 a year. So in the next 10 years, I'm going to spend $50,000 on freaking medications. Are you kidding me? What can I get for $50,000? I can get a brand new car, I get whatever. Anyways, not anymore. But like, you get what I'm saying, right? You can use these things to go, oh, dude, I don't want that. Like, And then what's really nice about this, what's the best part about this, is it gives you, instead of a good and bad situation where you go, oh, this is bad and this is good. It's not. It's what you want versus don't want. I don't want to screw up on my nutrition because I don't want to keep saying opposite, proud, sad, inadequate, weak, bored, scarce, all over the place with emotions, uncertain, unconfident woman who knows what she wants in life but always holds back and never gets it. That's what happens when I choose to screw up on my stuff. That's what I'm getting. I'll just keep getting more of that. Makes sense to not do it, right? It makes a lot of sense. It makes sense from an identity perspective. It makes sense from an emotional perspective. It makes sense from a logical perspective. It just so happens that all we typically do is compare it to one bullshit line that has no oomph, no juice, no fire, no aggression, no like hostility towards the freaking anti-goal. Ooh. If you had that, even versus just the top part, how much easier would it be to stick to your goals? If you got really real with yourself, if you got really viscerally real, like I cannot have one more mother effing day living like this, because when I do, I am sick, I am nasty, I am gross, I am fat, I am lazy, I am an emotional wreck, I am unconfident. I cannot do this anymore. And I have to do this now. Regardless if I want to or not. That's not even on the table. I have to. Because I cannot do another day the way I am right now. Can't do it. Not possible. Makes your life so much easier. So much easier. You guys clear? You guys good with this? So here's what I want. If you watched to this point, okay, I want one thing. I want one goal. Take the time. 10 minutes maybe. I literally did that in 10 minutes. Okay? So I want you to take 10 minutes right now. I'm not going to be here. I'm going to head off. And I want you to write down your goal of what you want, the goal that you have. I want you to write down the logical sniff test / identity. You could put both or either one. And emotional reasons with the wrappers. Okay? I want you to either message it to me, or if you're brave enough, I want you to post it in the community. That way the people can see it. So it's a declaration of saying this is what I'm doing too. It's always good to say, hey, this is my goal. This is why. And other people are going to do it too. So you don't have to feel weird. Okay. In fact, I'll write a couple of them. Not tonight. I got to get going. I got to pick up my daughter from dance. But I will get it to you. So if you can get it to me tonight, fabulous. Get it to me soon. Okay. After you're done watching this, I promise you it's going to be helpful. And it'll help you a ton. I'll have this recording up soon. And the PDF I'll put down as well. And that's it for me. Have a freaking great day. Kick some butt. Take some names. I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.